Longworth.
And I'm Ryan Budke.
And this is the first episode of our still untitled video podcast show where we talk about movies and popular culture and TV and music and general celebrity madness.
Because there's not enough of that out there.
So let's get started, Ryan. Tell me about these drunken celebrities that are out there.
It's fantastic. Just when you think Hollywood can't get any stupider, any worse, they just set a whole new low for themselves. It's really fantastic. There's the Trampy triplets, if you want to call them, with Paris, Lindsay, and Nicole out there. They've kind of adopted Britney Spears into their group now that she's dropped the FedEx. But two stories really stand out this week with that whole little awesome cabal. There's Nicole Richie, who was arrested while driving the wrong way on a highway. It's very obvious just from hearing the story that she was intoxicated, and that's what the drug screens are coming back and looking like, which is kind of ironic because Nicole has been the one who's been very adamant that she doesn't do drugs anymore and spent time in rehab.
Well, wasn't she in rehab?
Exactly,
right
and that's
Simple
supposedly
Life?
why she had the not that she was overweight or anything, but why she weighed more in the Simple Life and then slowly dropped the pounds as it went on. But so apparently that Clean and Sober is going fantastic.
I think it was Vicodin. I think I heard that she was saying that she took a couple Vicodin for some menstrual cramps and it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, but that's legal, right?
Yeah, I guess if she has a prescription, which we'll probably find out later, because I read today that the case is definitely going to court. There's no way she can get a lawyer to plead it out because she has a prior DUI.
Which she pled guilty to, right?
Right. So, it looks like there might be a little bit of jail time for little Nicole. So what else is going on in the world of drunken celebrities?
Well, Lindsay Lohan made a big deal this week about how she's been in AA for about a year, and her mom came out and was very supportive. And then she said she hadn't taken a drink in a whole 7 days. All this is amazing considering Lindsay isn't even 21 yet.
And doesn't she usually party with her mom?
Yeah, exactly. And I also find it rather ironic that this comes hot on the heels of her mass drunken email, text message that she sent out that was just completely rambling, and she mentions how she talked to Al Gore and Al Gore is going to help her out, and then immediately Al Gore's whole camp goes into disaster overdrive. Like, I think I said hello to the girl and that was about it. Awesome stuff.
Right. I have to wonder what kind of help Al Gore could offer Lindsay Lohan. I mean, he hasn't even admitted that he was running for president, but I suppose if he got her on the ticket somewhere, that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah. So, speaking of drunken, crazy celebrities, what happened with Apocalypto this weekend?
Well, Apocalypto was the #1 grossing film in the country last weekend, which was pretty surprising. It was going up against The Holiday, which has 800 stars in it, and also The Blood Diamond, which is a Leonardo DiCaprio film, very political. And Apocalypto just narrowly won the weekend with about $14 million over The Holiday. But then, on Monday and Tuesday, all of these reports on the internet started circulating that the movie was terribly historically inaccurate and racist, and Mayans were protesting, even though they haven't seen the movie.
There's still Mayans out there?
Yeah, there are some, and we should respect their wishes, I guess, when it comes to Apocalypto. But I don't know, the whole thing was kind of weird. It sort of struck me like Mel Gibson hasn't been doing that much press for the movie because he's afraid that people are going to ask him about, you know, that time where he got drunk and said he hated Jews.
That incident.
Right. So it seems almost like there's all these journalists who want to write something about the #1 movie in the country, and they have no recourse but to call like assistant professors at anthropology departments at minor universities and ask them for a story.
To be flat out honest though, even though it got #1, 14 million is nothing anymore.
It's
especially
not a big
for
weekend.
an opening weekend.
But even if it doesn't end up being like a huge box office success, Apocalypto did pick up a sort of a surprise Golden Globe nomination today. The surprise is that it was nominated in the Best Foreign Film category. Usually at the Oscars, the rules state that a film is only eligible to be nominated for Best Foreign Film if, let's say it's a Spanish film from Spain. If the Spanish government decided that that was their pick as their submission from their country, then it could be nominated. But if the Spanish government wanted to nominate a film that was made in Spain but in French, that wouldn't be okay. So Apocalypto was not eligible for the Best Foreign Film Oscar because it was made by Americans in Mayan. But the rules are different for the Golden Globes, and basically with the list of nominees for the Best Foreign Film for the Golden Globes, you've got that, and you've got Clint Eastwood's Letters from Iwo Jima, which is a film made by Americans shot in Japanese. So it almost sort of defies the point of having a Best Foreign Film category when two of the movies are being made by Hollywood moguls. I don't know, what other surprises did you see at the Golden Globes?
I was a little surprised to see Leonardo DiCaprio get nominated for Blood Diamond. I haven't seen it yet, and he was nominated also for Best Leading Actor in The Departed, so he's actually up against himself.
And at the Oscars, he won't be able to compete against himself. An actor can only be nominated once in acting categories. Directors can compete against themselves, and the last time that happened was when Steven Soderbergh was nominated for Aaron Brockovich and Traffic.
Yeah.
But Leo is going to be going it alone. What movie do you think he has the better chance for?
Like I said, I haven't seen Blood Diamond, but it almost sounds like he's getting better accolades for that. I really liked him in Departed. I thought he was good. And for as much, not crap as he's gotten, but stigmata that he had for Titanic and just being a teen heartthrob, he is a very good actor. So I'd really like to see him kind of win something and establish himself as that.
Yeah, and he's a huge star internationally. He doesn't actually work that much compared to a lot of big American stars, but almost every film he makes does incredibly well in foreign territories. And so it makes sense that the Hollywood Foreign Press, which is made up of journalists from foreign countries, would pick him twice and be pretty friendly to the movies that he's in. Another surprise that I saw was that neither of the 9/11 movies were nominated. A lot of people were saying that United 93 would get a Best Picture nomination, and some people were even saying that Oliver Stone's World Trade Center was going to do well, but they're completely absent from the Golden Globes.
But that could also go up against what you just said about the Hollywood Foreign Press, and while they might do better at the Oscars, that's just not something that is quite as meaningful worldwide as it is to us.
Right. I mean, obviously I'm an American, but I wasn't that impressed with either film. I think of the two, United 93 is the better movie, but I have to wonder if in America we have such a sensitive dialogue around the idea of 9/11 and works of art being made about it. Maybe without that sort of idea of it being a sensitive subject in other countries, you know, maybe these films aren't even really considered.
Right.
Because they don't really, with the exception of Nicolas Cage being in World Trade Center, neither of them has a lot of big stars, you know. So when you think about it, Americans don't really care about films made about the political issues of other countries. So it might be sort of that is what's going on here.
Definitely.
Let's talk about TV Golden Globes. Were you surprised that Studio 60 didn't get any nominations?
A little bit. I really am a huge fan of the show, and almost am kind of hesitant to say anything because I'm so biased and love the show. I do think it's good. I think it'll be nominated next year because I really think it's hit its stride. But it did kind of stumble at first. So I could see why it wouldn't necessarily be nominated, but...
Do you think there's even going to be another year?
I do. I really do.
Yeah.
It got picked up, and on top of that, NBC really has a... well, A, they've got a great relationship with Aaron Sorkin and Tommy Shalvey, and B, they've really got a great reputation for giving... good struggling shows, the time to find themselves and grow. Scrubs is a perfect example of that. The Office, which is still, while it is one of the most critically acclaimed shows, doesn't have great gangbuster ratings. So they give the shows time to grow and really get established. So I definitely think Studio 60 will at least come back next year. It might be in the same situation that it was in this year, where it'll just get picked up for the front half, and then if it does well, it'll go on. But I think it'll be there next year. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us. This was the very first one, so it's a little rough, but please let us know what you think, and we will see you back here next week, again, for Netscape.
Also, if you have ideas for a name for the show,
send them along. We're open for anything.
All right. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Karina, and I'll talk to you later.
Bye.